Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Ethereum and just sort of do an update on where we currently are. We've speculated that we could get a summer lull in the market. So far, it seems like that's what we're getting, right? We're not really seeing any major changes in the valuation of Ethereum against the US dollar. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We're going to let this sale on the premium list go for about 5 or 6 more days. So if you want to lock in the lower rate there, make sure you sign up in the next week or so. Let's go ahead and jump in. So Ethereum, as we've showed many times, tends to have a lull in the market, especially after a move in Q1 that extends through Q2. Okay, by the summertime, it can often pull back a bit, and at least in terms of volatility, you might see a lot of sideways action, slight moves up, slight moves down. Nothing too crazy. Very unlikely to immediately put in new all-time highs. I mean, I know people don't necessarily like to hear that, but that's just what the data suggests, that we're likely not about to imminently put in a new all-time high for Ethereum against the US dollar. Now, if you look at Ether, though, it does seem like it's coming to a potential decision point. Now, I don't trade these. I just show them because I know a lot of you guys like looking at them, and that they're talked to a lot of other places as well. But looking at this little pattern here with it frequently going back up to around $2,900, it seems like, okay, we're gonna have decision time within the next week or so, probably within the next week. Are we gonna go back up, or are we gonna go down? And when we talk about what's more likely to happen, I mean, I think in general they're more likely to break to the upside, but you also have to recognize that this isn't just generally speaking. Bitcoin is also right now well below the 20-week SMA. So currently, Ethereum is actually showing a lot of resilience against the Bitcoin for its Bitcoin valuation. It had a weekly correction. It had a correction a few weeks ago where it dropped around 21% against Bitcoin, but 2 weeks ago it came up 10.5%, and then this week so far it's up 12.5%. So despite the fact that right now Bitcoin is below its 20-week moving average, Ethereum is holding up relatively well against Bitcoin. And I guess one of the reasons is, well, Bitcoin the last 2 weeks has started to move back up. I mean, this was a 3% move, so far 0.76. It's at least not kicking the bucket. And that is enough so far that has helped the Ethereum valuation against Bitcoin hang on, okay? But make no mistake, I think it still warrants us to be relatively cautious in this market. This is not like how I was over here when I was like super bullish, or over here, or even as we set up here, hey, maybe it's time we break out of the channel. I'm super bullish on Ethereum long term. I am. Make no mistake about that. My point is that we are in a very precarious position, just like we were 1 week ago, and just like we were 2 weeks ago. Okay, we're in a very precarious position. The reason being is because of Bitcoin's location well below the 20-week SMA. If Bitcoin were up here, I would still be saying, hey, Ethereum likely bounces back, puts in new all-time highs. Think about how many corrections Bitcoin had during this period over here. Think about all these corrections, and think about how Ethereum was able to easily put in new all-time highs. And this one, we got this little bounce here, and during that bounce, Ethereum rallied. This was from April 24th until May 14th. April 24th until May 14th. Okay, look at what Ethereum did. It started off around $2,200. It doubled. It essentially doubled during this little bounce here. And I was still super bullish on Ethereum putting in new all-time highs. Now that Bitcoin is below the 20-week, I just want to be honest in that I'm a lot more cautious. Okay, it's not that I don't want Ethereum to do well. I do. It's not that I still think Ethereum is going to likely trend much higher for this market cycle. But when you're looking at where Bitcoin is, one of the things we've noticed is, okay, well, Bitcoin has had some bounces here, but wait a second, Ethereum hasn't been putting in any new all-time highs recently. And again, I think the reason is because Bitcoin's below the 20-week. And when you're below the 20-week, the confidence, it adjusts, it changes, because people are like, well, Bitcoin's below the 20 week, we don't really know what's going to happen. When Bitcoin dropped a few weeks ago and came all the way down here, I mean, the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation just plummeted. I mean, it plummeted, and that would be the current downside risk. I mean, look at this move. This was a 32% drop against Bitcoin during that correction. Okay, so as we navigate the summer, we said before, we expect a lull in the market in the summer. One of the most common criticisms of that is, well, that the upgrades coming this summer. The problem with using that argument, in my opinion, is that no matter what the valuation of Ethereum was or is, by the time it launches, people are always going to speculate that it should go higher after launch. So whether Ethereum was $500, people would say, well, it's going to then pump to $2,000 after launch. If Ethereum had gone to $20,000 already, then people would still be saying, hey, it should go higher after this upgrade. So my point is, the market has a way of pricing things in sometime, before they necessarily happen. So while I would like to believe that Ethereum is going to go to $10,000 in the next few weeks, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Now, the main outlier remains its Bitcoin valuation, okay? We have not put in a new local top yet. We would need to rally from the current point. We would need to rally about 9%. About 9%. Is it possible that Ethereum puts in a new all-time high or a new local high against Bitcoin? Yes, it's possible. I mean, if Bitcoin sort of holds the line here for a few more weeks, I imagine there's a decent chance Ethereum can continue to rally against Bitcoin. The main thing to keep an eye out for, though, is whenever Bitcoin volatility changes from this sort of relatively stagnant area, whether it goes back up or back down, I think Ethereum might take a back seat to whatever Bitcoin's doing at that time. So, right now, obviously everyone wants to see Ethereum do well. I mean, I'm definitely one of them, but we cannot mistake the fact that, hey, it's still down 39% from the all-time high. So to some degree, we're still playing in the sandbox, and I would not schedule your Forbes interview just yet. I think we need to get more direction from Bitcoin before getting overly bullish on Ethereum in the short term. Okay, so I would say my main stance right now is still long-term bullish on Ethereum. I think we have a long way to go for this market cycle. In the short term, I'm a little bit cautious because of Bitcoin's position well below the 20-week SMA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the sale on the premium list if you want to lock in the lower rate. We'll leave that going for about 6 more days. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Let's go for 500,000 subscribers. Click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye.